The topic for today is if I was my 18-year-old self. I wish somebody would have told me about network marketing when I was my 18-year-old self. But I knew about network marketing when a guy named Jimmy came to my house and he introduced me to Primerica. If you guys know what Primerica is, Primerica is a life insurance company, and it's also a work from home opportunity. So number one, if I was my 18-year-old self, I would have been investing in stocks and bonds if I was my 18-year-old self. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would not be living in this apartment right now. I would be living in a mansion somewhere, in a big house somewhere, if I was my 18-year-old self. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would not be working my 9-to-5 job, both my 9-to-5 job. If I was my 18-year-old self, I wouldn't have been in debt. I wouldn't have never been in debt. I would have never saw debt if I was my 18-year-old self. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would have been helping as many people as possible get to where they need to be, where I am not right now. If I was my 18-year-old self. If I was my 18-year-old self. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would have been driving a nice Mercedes-Benz. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would have retired my mom as early as possible from working her 9-to-5 job. If I was my 18-year-old self. And my name is Ashley from Miami, Florida, and I am from Miami, Florida. For those of you that are in Miami, Florida right now, it's kind of hot outside, but it's cold in my house, really cold. But I am grateful for the things I have now, but I am not where I want to be. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would have been where I need to be right now. If I was my 18-year-old self. But I am going to fight for what I believe in. I believe in success. So I am going to fight for my success now than if I was my 18-year-old self. I didn't know about network marketing when I was 18 years old. I wish I did when I was my 18-year-old self. Nobody told me about it unless a good friend of mine told me about this when I was, how old was I? When I was 30-something years old, 31 years old. That's when I knew about working from home. That's when I knew I needed to step up my game. But I was a newbie in network marketing. I didn't know anything about network marketing. Now I know. If I was my 18-year-old self, I would have been opening up a Walgreens. If I had to, if I had to keep stocks, keep investing in stocks and bonds, I would have opened up another store somewhere if I was my 18-year-old self. It's nothing about playing the lotto or anything. That has nothing to do with that. But I never liked playing the lotto anyways. Because I don't believe in that to the certain extent. I played once or twice. Nothing, And it's not easy. Network marketing is never easy. And it's never hard. It's just that you just got to set a goal for yourself and work towards that goal. Work towards that goal until you can no longer work towards that goal anymore. Fight for what you have until you can never fight for what you have anymore. And you gotta be hungry. Like Les Brown said, you gotta be hungry for what you desire to be hungry for. And I'm hungry now. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for what I desire to be hungry for. I'm hungry to being all the way to the top. I want to be where I'm at. This is why I am talking to you now about my 18-year-old self. My 18-year-old self coulda, shoulda, woulda known. I could have, should have, would have known about network marketing if I was my 18-year-old self. But I am not going to stop trying to succeed, trying to better myself, and trying to get other people to better themselves, and trying to get the freedom that I deserve, and trying to help other people get the freedom they deserve. So that should have been my 18-year-old self. I am 35 years old. I live in Florida, and my name is Ashley, and I am not going to stop pursuing my goals, because I'm the type of person that will not stop, that will not quit unless she can get all the way to the top. Fact, she deserves to get all the way to the top. I'm talking about me. And if you are struggling to be where you need to be at, then my advice to you is to take notes, do a video, tell people a little bit more about what you do, tell people about what you stand for. Tell people about your goals, settings, and tell people about whatever it is that you need help with. Yeah, you gotta, like, you gotta, like, go out there and tell people about the things that you are struggling with. Tell people about what you eat, or what color you like, what kind of sports you like. I like basketball and wrestling. So those are the only two sports I like. I'm not a football fan. I'm not a baseball fan. I'm not any of those sports. I like basketball and wrestling. Okay? My name is Ashley once again. Thank you for hopping on my live. And if you want me to talk more, or if you want me to talk about something else, just comment down at the bottom below. And there's a link down at the bottom below if you guys want to check out Legends VIP Network. Feel free to do that. And thank you, and have a nice day.